Every time I've ever seen him run, I've never seen him just get out of a race. He stays in it, he waits for his opportunity, and his determination takes him there. And he obviously was in a phenomenal field there. That was an elite field, and getting a medal in this race, it was just a phenomenal. He's really put in a phenomenal amount of work, and I don't think people realize what it takes to get to that level. I think he mentioned to me in a little comment, he goes, all the work and effort and everything that has to go into this just to get there.
Grant Blank's hometown son, Grant Fisher, making history at this year's Paris Olympics. Fisher winning 2 bronze medals and becoming the first American man to medal in both the 500 meter and 5,000 meter, that is, and 10,000 meter in the Olympic Games. Ed Stanberry is Fisher's high school track and field coach, and he joins us now here on First at 4. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Were you surprised at all by Fisher's success at this year's Olympics?
I personally expected him to do very well. Getting medals, that's another story. There's so many variables and factors that can play into that, but I'm really not surprised. I felt he had that ability for a long time.
Yeah, you know, and speaking of a long time, you were his high school coach. Right. Very well decorated high school runner, Gatorade Player of the Year for a couple seasons, an 11-time All-American. What's it like coaching someone with that kind of talent?
It's unique because it doesn't happen all the time. We have been blessed with a lot of good runners, and I think that set up a good pathway and a pattern for him to have goals to shoot for and to go after. So it was there for him, but when you realize that there's an athlete with that caliber, there's some managing that has to occur. There's a lot of different type of preparation because he would go on and run meets. After the season, he would compete in a much longer season, and you had to be aware of the fact that he had to do things. So we tried to get him in a situation to do those things so he could really excel at the upper level.
Yeah, let's talk about excelling. When you talk about excelling at the upper level, he's a medaled Olympian now. And that last run, just describe what you were going through watching that. You were at the watch party and he fell behind. He was running up there, then he fell behind, and then he came back, and it was just an amazing feat of determination.
You know, I think a lot of times if you watch the whole Olympics, some of the great athletes that medaled at this Olympics, you almost saw that with several of them. They surged right at the end. They find the extra gear. There's something in the subconscious where they program themselves to do that, and then they find that 5th gear and they get it done. And it's a special characteristic of great athletes. And I watched it with Lyles, and I watched the finish line, and I watched it with the hurdler, and we watched it with Grant.
Yeah, and it's kind of personal for you with Grant because you know Grant.
I've known Grant for a long time. You know, extremely proud of him. I'm happy for the success that he's had. He's worked really hard. Anybody that puts that type of time into something, we know a lot of people that have talent and it doesn't always develop, but with Grant it developed.
And he made history.
He did.
And how's that? He's a history maker in the Olympics as well.
I sent his dad a text. I said he's now an American distance running legend.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat. And so I think that that is unique. You know, I mean, we'll see it in the books, you know, down the road.
And so it's pretty remarkable. The win, it makes the win even more remarkable knowing that no other American male has medaled in those 2 races before.
Absolutely. You know, there had only been 4 previous to that in the last, since what was it, almost 14 years, something like that. Mm-hmm. And he just did something that nobody else has done, to be able to come back and after a 10K, get your legs back, get rested up, go through a preliminary round, and then still have something left to find, and that's amazing.
Yeah, and my last question for you is, how proud right now are you of Fisher in this moment?
I'm extremely proud. Just the uniqueness of the situation. I think I'm like everybody else in Grand Blanc and Flint that watched it. I mean, we're all proud of him. We're happy for him. Mm-hmm. It's great to be part of something like that. I wish him the best. I don't think we've seen the end of him yet. I think he's got
there's more to come?
I think there's more to come.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be waiting for the big hometown celebration win, and if that happens, and thank you so much, Coach, for coming in and just, you know, shedding some light on Grant Fisher for us. And
thank you.
We're all cheering him on.
Thank you.
Thank you.